Jules, how about some more quick hits? Manchester United have confirmed that Raphael Varane suffered a groin injury and will be out, quote, for a few weeks. Jules, given that Harry Maguire is also sidelined as they travel to face Leicester this weekend, the prospect of an old school. Lindelof-Bailly partnership looms. See, I didn't put Phil Jones in that sentence?
Yeah, because he will be on the bench, and you hope that nothing happens to Lindelof or Bailly, otherwise it's the return of the Phil.
No, come on. They have Tayden Mengi or whatever his name is, right?
They have youngsters, I guess, that they can rely on. Let's not forget that you could have Lindelof and Bailly and still no real holding midfielder ahead in front of them, which is also a problem, I think, because you don't protect them. This could be bad against Leicester. And
stop being negative about United. Get behind Ollie.
Let's just keep the ball higher up, press high, so at least Lindelof and Bailly never see the ball.
At least there's no Champions League game in midweek. Oh, wait.
Right. The Times report that Phil Foden is going to sign a bumper new deal at Manchester City through 2027, a 6-year deal. Gab, I know you don't like long contracts, of course, although he's 12, so that's fine, I guess. But this one is a no-brainer.
It is a complete no-brainer. He's a phenomenal footballer. He's 21 years old. Obviously, you lock him up. Well, I love the optics of it. They're like, it's a 6-year deal. Well, no, because his current deal extends in 2024. Yeah. So you're adding 3 years to the end of the deal. But more importantly, you're giving him a lot more money. Yeah. And I think it's money that he deserves because he's a regular now, an important player.
Definitely.
Germany and Denmark clinched automatic spots at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, joining Qatar, obviously, who qualifies hosts. No surprise there, right?
No, I mean, Denmark was so impressive, won all their games, didn't concede a single goal, I think. And for Germany, it started badly with Jogi Löw because they lost against North Macedonia. And
because it's Jogi Löw.
And Hansi Flick just put everything right again, as we expected. And they threw, and they looked good as well. We were all full of praise for Spain's performance in the Nations League Final Four, and rightly so. And we talked about how bright the future is. But Gab, in terms of qualifying for the World Cup, in terms of all the big boys in Europe, they probably face the stiffest challenge because Sweden are ahead of them with just 2 games to go.
Sweden are ahead of them. It's Sweden 15, Spain 13, Greece 9. Now, Greece hosts Spain. Remember, Greece got a point off of Spain last time. And then the last one is Spain against Sweden. And Sweden may have already qualified or whatever. But still, maybe Zlatan will play in that game.
Yes.
Who knows? There are things that can go wrong. You don't want to mess with it. And obviously, number 1 qualifies. Number 2, of course, goes to the playoffs. A court in Spain has sentenced Lucas Hernandez to 6 months in prison. He's obviously not going to go to prison, you think? But tell us more. This could be complicated. What is the fallout?
Yeah, it's a bit strange. So go back to 2017. Lucas and his girlfriend Amelia, then his girlfriend, had a fight. They were sentenced for the fight.
Both of them separately?
Yeah, separately. Suspended, jail stuff, a fine, and also the fact that they could not be
he was given a restraining order where he wasn't allowed to go near her.
Yeah, where he can't be near her. The thing is, then they made up. They got married in Vegas 2 months later, went for their honeymoon in Miami, and on their way back from Miami, got stopped at the airport saying, how can you holding hands here? You should not be close to each other.
So he got charged again for violating the restraining order.
And now, since all that time, now court in Spain and the judge in Spain saying, hang on, do you remember what happened all those years ago? Now you have to come and do that jail sentence. You need to pick the jail where you're going to go to. So he will have to be in Madrid on the 19th, so next week, to be present at the court. Not that he will see a judge or anything. He will take, I think, some paper. Then we'll have to fill a form saying where he wants to go, in what jail in Spain he wants to go for those 6 months.
Presumably he's not actually going to go to prison, is the point.
Go. Maybe a few days, but that's it.
I'd love to know who his agent, who his lawyer is, and why they didn't tell them. Listen, sort the paperwork out. This is ridiculous.
FIFA President Gianni Infantino has talked about his dream of seeing a joint Israel-Palestine bid for the World Cup in the future, Gab. Is he deluded completely, or the intention is good?
I'm in 2 minds about this, right? So let me put my cynical hat on and tell you, oh, look, he wants to win the Nobel Peace Prize. He wants to tell people what they want to hear, blah, blah, blah. He's not serious. It can never happen.
It's not realistic.
Because it's not realistic. Okay, fine. At the same time, are we so cynical to say, oh, look, they can never, ever make peace? Why not? At some point, I think this is all he's going to say. We want to go and bash him over the head, over his big bald head for the 10 millionth time. Fine. But I like the idea. I actually would love it if one day there could be peace and these guys could get along. And why not? Host a World Cup. So I'm not going to go and bash him the way many people have. How about some good news for Barcelona for a change? Sergio Aguero.
Is the Dutch guy still there?
Stop it.
Oh.
Sergio Aguero is back, and he even scored in a friendly.
He did. Coutinho scored the other goal. They won 2-0 with a decent team because, guys like Piqué, Langlais, Umtiti, Sergio Roberto, I think played as well.
He's fit again, yeah.
Yeah, it was a Ricky Puig. So it was a decent team for all the players who were not on international duty. They won, and I think that maybe he can have 15, 20 minutes at the weekend against Valencia.
And then start in the Clásico ahead of Luke de Jong.
Can you imagine?
Oh.
And then get injured again, because that's what he's been doing. Meanwhile, Pedri is reportedly close to finally extending his contract at the Camp Nou with a release clause of 600 million, or is he a billion, or like crazy amount anyway.
Listen, the only thing that matters here is that he's close to extending his contract. Yeah. Now, bear in mind, for the last 18 months, we've heard that he's close to extending his contract. He's still on a youth contract. They have an option, blah, blah, blah. He's woefully underpaid. It's in his interest to get it done. That is the good news. But release clauses are, frankly, completely irrelevant because in Spain, it's complicated, slightly antiquated system, but they're set so high that nobody's going to pay 600 million euros.
There's more and more players now who don't have them anymore. In Spain.
Thankfully, they're joining the 21st century. We focused on events in the stands at Wembley, but there was a football match, but two in England were held by Hungary 1-1. Jules, Harry Kane had a rough time, and he also has yet to score for Spurs in the Premier League this season, though he did get a hat-trick in the Europa Conference League against a team I genuinely had never heard of before. Is there a reason for Kane to be concerned?
I think so. There has to be, because he doesn't look himself, clearly, because with Spurs, there's always the question mark of he doesn't really want to be there. It's different with England, but it was not a good performance from England overall, and I think that doesn't help him. But yeah, I think I'm a bit worried.
Nice to see some cooperation among Premier League clubs. Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea have all chipped in to fly a charter jet with 9 players back from Manaus back to England immediately after the Brazil-Uruguay qualifier on Thursday night. This is common sense. Other clubs have been doing this for ages.
It is. It's good for the environment because it's only one flight instead of 4 different flights from South America back to London. I'm really joking. It's good because, as we've explained before, and we can't go back, so South America and CONMEBOL played really late. They had 3 games, so the players are going to come really late, and I think a few of them might not be involved at all at the weekend. But at least you're gaining some precious time by bringing them back as soon as you can, like this, by all sharing. And they're all friends, let's be honest. It's not like if United players and Liverpool players on that plane, we're not going to talk about each other and going to fight on the private jet, So
I'm assuming Richarlison is in. I should know this, but I'm assuming Richarlison is in the squad too.
He is indeed. He scored even assisted by Rafinha.
So is he not allowed to hitch a ride?
No, I think he is. He would be.
He would be.
You just didn't put Everton because you don't like them.
I'd love to know how they split up the costs here. And also, is it an Etihad plane?
That's a good question. Is it, if you have 2 players, do you pay more or less than if you just have one?
Exactly.
If he doesn't eat on board, does that count?
Also, what kind of a plane is it? Because it's a long distance, so I'm assuming it would need to be a big plane, right?
No. They're private jets can do the South America, Europe flight with no problem.
Well, yeah, but it still needs to be a larger. It's not going to be a little Cessna like it's going to be.
No, but usually the ones they take is 4 or 5 seaters. This one would be obviously easily a 10-seater.
I don't think a 4 or 5 seater can fly nonstop too. Well, look, aviation, private plane experts.
Definitely.
Please tell us.
I've taken some before. Gab clearly has it.
Yes, you've taken 4. Yeah. You've taken 4-seater planes to freaking Manaus in the middle of the Amazon, whatever.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.